CJ Flyer back with another YouTube video. It is Sunday, November 3rd, about 5 minutes from the start of the first NBA game today. But before we get into today's games, there was a whole lot of drama in yesterday's games, and in particular with Joel Embiid, who wasn't even playing yesterday. Got into an altercation with a reporter, with a columnist, if you will, from the Inquirer. He writes opinion pieces on Philadelphia sports teams, and recently has been very critical of Joel Embiid. So you might be wondering, well, what in the world did he say that would have Embiid in his face and threatening to hurt him, basically? So I started reading some of the articles. I've never heard of Marcus Hayes before today, or before yesterday, I should say. Started reading through some of his recent articles, and did come across the little tidbit of information that kind of threw Embiid the wrong way. And to be honest, I cannot really blame him. We read this here. Joel Embiid consistently points to the birth of his son, Arthur, as the major inflection point in his basketball career. He often says that he wants to be great, to leave a legacy for the boy named after his little brother, who tragically died in an automobile accident when Embiid was in his first year as a 76er. Well, in order to be great at your job, you first have to show up for work. Embiid has been great at just the opposite. Now in his 11th season, he consistently has been in poor condition. This poor conditioning apparently seems to have delayed his debut this season, as Embiid won't play in Wednesday's opener or the next two games. Now look, I understand being critical of Embiid's availability to play, especially given the fact that he seemed just fine during the Olympics run with Team USA. He was out there on the court. He was playing. Yeah, he wasn't playing great all the time, but he was out there participating and starting for the team. And now we get to the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden he's just not available to play. He also announces before the season even starts that he's not available to play in back-to-backs 100%. I mean, yes, I think it's worth being critical of that, and especially if you are a fan of the team, if you pay for season tickets, it's got to be a little bit frustrating that you're getting hyped up with this new big three of Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid. Looking forward to it. I'm sure the prices are inflated when you're expecting to see those types of players be on the team every single game, but then something like this happens where the announcement's made right before the start of the season, after season tickets have been purchased and whatnot. I understand. I think it's worth being critical of that. But to throw in personal stuff like this, I just don't understand. And Marcus Hayes is very critical of Joel Embiid. As we take a look at this article here, talks about the Olympics, talks about his past issues with health and his availability. He's got several articles talking about Joel Embiid and his availability to play for the team. So, again, I don't think it's wrong to be critical of that, but I think it's wrong to point towards the man's family and make references to that. Like, that's almost like a personal attack on character, that is taking it more than one step too far. That's like several steps too far, in my opinion. That's like let's just like do an analogy for a workplace scenario. Maybe you're working at an office job or something, and someone takes PTO for a vacation, and then you criticize them, saying like, don't you want to work hard? What your work ethic is lacking. Don't you want to put in the extra effort in the name of your son that passed away recently? Like, imagine your boss tells you that, or imagine one of your coworkers says that. That's the analogy I would think for us regular day people, I guess, because that's basically what happened here. His personal character and his integrity was attacked here. I mean, it's one thing to criticize the professional aspect and the basketball aspect of all of this, but to go that far, I mean, come on, man. That's very unprofessional. It's very embarrassing, and I can't believe someone would willingly write that, just unprovoked. I don't get how you wake up in the morning and think this is the connection I'll make to the situation. Let me mention the man's you know, deceased son or deceased brother. I mean, I don't get it. But let me know what you think in the comments down below about that. Moving on, we are going to look at the games from yesterday, the predictions that we had. Were we right? Were we wrong? We were right about quite a few. Of course, we always compare to the betting favorite from FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm not partnered, affiliated with them. I'm not promoting them. I'm not encouraging you to do sports betting or sports gambling. But if you do it, please do it responsibly. I'm just sharing my opinion, and it's fun to compare. So, the Sixers were the betting favorite yesterday at home, but Sixers are missing their two best players. Grizzlies are a solid team, even with a couple of their main guys, having some low severity injuries. So I picked the Grizzlies. Grizzlies ended up winning. Good win there. I was wrong about the Kings winning in Toronto. Toronto came up on top. And then same with the Rockets beating the Warriors. I'm actually pretty surprised at this. Warriors without Steph Curry right now, and the Rockets fall flat. Same with the Timberwolves Spurs. Good showing by the Spurs at home. Now, granted, the Timberwolves were coming off a back-to-back. I just thought, they'd be able to handle it a little bit better than they did. That being said, what in the world, Milwaukee? I said it yesterday. I'm going to keep betting against or keep picking against the Milwaukee Bucks until they finally win a game, and they barely lost. They lost by it was like a game winner from Donovan Mitchell, I believe. So, oh man, if you're a Bucks fan, you hate to see it. Anyone else that is not a Bucks fan, or it's the Doc Rivers Darvin Ham special, right? It's no surprises at all. You got to feel bad for Giannis though. Giannis doesn't deserve this. Anyways, going into today's games, we got the Pistons versus the Nets. I believe didn't they play recently? Oh no, they did not play recently. This is their first meetup together, I believe. Pistons, I've mentioned it before, they're not going to be as bad of a team as they were last year in my opinion, because they actually have some solid veterans on the team now. But the Nets also kind of have some interesting pieces. I'm probably going to go with the Nets on this one just because they're at home. Because I'd put Pistons and Nets on the same tier level, same quality of talents, if you will. So we'll give it to the Nets since they're at home. And moving on, Hawks, Pelicans. I just have to double check here, make sure none of these teams played yesterday. I don't think so. I think all the teams playing today are not coming off back-to-back. So Pelicans at home. They got some injury issues they're dealing with, I believe. Let's go ahead and actually take a look, make sure I'm not forgetting any Hawks injuries, if you will. And I am forgetting some injuries. My goodness, DeAndre Hunter is out now. Kobe Buffkin's been out. Bogdanovich has been out. And then looking at the Pelicans, where in the world? They're not even showing him. There he is. DeJounte Murray is out. They got Jose Alvarado. I guess, is CJ McCollum out too? Oh my goodness. Yeah, look, I'm going to give this one to the Hawks. That's way too many injuries to key players. The Pelicans already lack depth at the center position. And now they're going to be lacking depth at the guard position. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. We're going to give this one to the Hawks. Magic and Mavs. Obviously, as a Mavs fan, I have complete faith in my team. Just kidding, not all the time. But I do think they are going to be one of the top two teams in the West, as I've mentioned several times before in previous videos if you're new here. I've also, though, mentioned that the Magic, I think, are going to be a sleeper for one of the best teams in the East. So let's go ahead and pull up the standings right now. I just want to take a quick look. It's still really early, but as we can see, the Magic are in that top 6 range right now in the East. Going over to the West, Dallas is also in that top 6 section as well. It's what you like to see as a Mavs fan. Too early to say on anything, but let me just double check the Magic's injury report, because I'm sure if it's not the Mavericks, I'm not necessarily following as closely with injuries. Like I know Maxi's out. Looks like the Magic have most of their guys. Oh yeah, that's right. They have Paolo's out. I keep forgetting Paolo's out. He's been out. He's going to be out for a little while. Yeah, so we'll give this to the Mavs. And that's that for today's games. And I would not be surprised if I'm spot on, if these are all the betting favorites as well. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what the odds are. Brooklyn's favored at home. The Pelicans are favored at home. Okay. I'm still taking Atlanta on that one, and then Dallas is favorite at home. So let me know what you think about those predictions in the comments down below, and click one of the videos on your screen right now for some more NBA discussion.